Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful for this trip to Gambia. I'm writing in my journal daily. I am envisioning how my life will be and what I need to do to make it manifest. I've been trying to share the process of getting out of Gambia, and I think I started and stopped, started and stopped. So let me see if I can get it out. Welcome back, my global family. Check out my latest episode on my podcast, Let's Talk About It with Empress. And thank you for watching. In this next part, I'm sharing my experience in the Gambia having to take the COVID test. This is just for informational purpose. Since then, the requirements have changed. But if you don't want to hear this information and move forward, the next section will start at timestamp 14.40. So I just want to prepare you. Your trip can be beautiful. You can have an amazing time. But when it comes to the whole COVID airport situation, that is a moneymaker for everybody involved. And everyone is in on the take. So just brace yourself, prepare yourself, don't get stressed out. That's all I gotta say, because it will ruin your trip. Because the way I was dealt with, I was so appalled. I did get footage, and you know, the way I feel about it is corruption always happens when people are in need. And it's like sometimes we choose to be part of it because it's just easier. I hate to say it that way. But that's the reality of it. Let me break down. I got people around me listening. It was a lot, y'all. First it was the the COVID test. You know, DC, United States got the 24-hour COVID test. First of all, I have to say it's all about who you know, because if I didn't know the people that I did, I think this would have been a lot worse. My transition is going to be a lot easier than some, but I kind of want to break down the costs for you, not so much what happened, because you've probably heard it enough about from people. You can imagine everybody's in on the take. Just remember that everybody in from the take, from the COVID test to the bank where you got to go get your paperwork for the COVID test, to the health minister, to the air. It's like everybody is in on it. So just prepare yourself. So I'm going to break it down more so how much money I had to spend, what I may have ran into, and whether you want to participate in it or not. I don't know. You have to have your COVID test less than 24 hours, right? The way they do it, like they have this thing called like a locator number, where you got to go and give them your passport, your ticket information, your phone number, your Gambian number. They give you this number, which is your COVID number. That's very important. You're going to have to get your COVID number before your test, and you can't, and it's like the whole process does not and will not work in under 24 hours. Be prepared to pay for your COVID test twice. The first time is like 2,500 Dalasi. So what you have to do is you have to go to EcoBank and get your it's like a paperwork you have to get to show that you paid for it. So you go to EcoBank to pay for it. Now, when you get to the bank, you can either pay someone to let you in the bank so that you can cut the line And that way, once you get in the bank, you can get your paperwork and you'll get to the processing center where they give the actual test in a timely manner, because it closes at 1. At 1 it closes. Or you can do like I did and don't pay the fee to the guards to get in the bank ahead of the line and sit and wait in line and watch everyone else pay to get in the bank before you. I chose to sit in the line and wait as to be fair, and it bit me in the ass. So I'm sitting, so I end up going in and getting my paperwork. So it was $2,500. I did complain to the bank manager, but I don't know. He acted very surprised. So, he made sure he would address it. The people at the door doing this, I'm like, so okay, thank you. I'm gonna leave it at that. And so by the time I got into the bank, once I got into the bank, the process moved very quickly. The process was slow getting into the bank of all the people paying to get in before you. So when I got to the processing center, it was closed. So then we had to go to the headquarters. Let me put it this way. You have to brace yourself for not the best conditions for the headquarters of health, not the best of treatment, no customer service. We got chastised because of how their system works, because of the few of us who experienced this whole thing of not getting correct information, being run around. And it was an interesting experience. Let me put it, to say the least. It was very disappointing that I was seeing certain European people go in and get their tests, come out and be treated very respectfully, but the people of color that were not from there were not. And it was quite appalling. We got chastised. No one would address us. There was a bunch of foreigners sitting in the hallway, and we're trying to get information on where to get our tests, and nobody would help. So it was interesting. But we finally got our tests done, and in pretty unsanitary conditions. But they were under construction, so I guess that was the excuse, so we're going to give them grace, even though there were several buildings that we probably could have done it in, but they chose to take us outside to do the test, in construction area and around trash. But we got our test, so alhamdulillah. After that, the process seems pretty easy enough. You get the locator on your phone and what have you. Now the process in the airport, once I got to the airport, you have to pay for your test again. But now you have your locator number and all those things. So basically you have to pay another $1,500. So in total, so at the airport you have to take the test again, and you have to pay another fee. So you're paying for a COVID test twice. The second one, so the $1,500, $2,000, so that's three. So you're going to end up paying in total $4,000. Nothing, not too bad. I'm not complaining about it. But if you're not aware of it, it can be very frustrating how antiquated it is. So I want to reiterate My process was a lot easier because I had people who were helping me through the process. I had local Gambians who were such a blessing, who kind of guided me through that, because if I went through that whole process by myself, I would have been so flustered, so angry, because they were with me. They knew what was going on. They kind of explained it, but it was still so. With me going through it by myself with local help, like they were with me, but I still had to do some of it by myself. It eased the pain. If I had to do this whole thing by myself, I don't think I would have come back to Gambia. I was like, I'm done. I would have been like, I'm done. So for me, what I'm seeing is it is so important to connect with local Gambians, people that trust. It has to be a two-way relationship. You know, I've been, like I said, I've been blessed to meet some really good people. I try to look out for, and in turn they looked out for me as well. So that was a blessing. But the process it was a lot. I can't even imagine what would have been like by myself, because from the COVID test to the airport, it's mayhem, and there isn't a such thing as customer service there. That's just the reality. It's not. I just want to say, when you come, you have to brace yourself for that. Don't let a few bad experiences ruin the whole thing. But it's challenging. It is challenging. There's no organization in the process, and even going through the airport, like you're coming in, you got outside, people telling you to weigh your bag, and they talk differently. So you're like, what? And they're like, weigh it, and then they'll tell you how much to move, and you got to unpack your bags on the street, and then you got to go in and then pay your $20. I don't know what that's for, but they're going to get your $20, so you either pay $20 or $1,000 $1,000. Then you go and check with, you got to go in through like one checkpoint where they look at your COVID test and passport, and they tell you whether or not your COVID test is good. Then if it's not good, you got to go get another COVID test and pay for it. Don't go 3 hours before your flight. You better go early. Make sure, like in the morning, make sure everything is right. Make sure everything is right, because with this 24-hour COVID test with the United States, if you go 3 or 4 hours, you might not be flying out. I highly suggest go first thing in the morning. So the first test, for example, if you're leaving Wednesday, take it. No, if you're leaving Friday, take it Wednesday, so you get your locator paper and everything on Thursday. It's good for anyone who is vaccinated. But if you're unvaccinated, still do the same thing, but be prepared to pay for it twice, okay, for the 24 hours. And when you get to the airport, do not go 4 or 5 hours before your flight. Go first thing in the morning to get your, if your flight's in the morning, go the day before. Go get all the process checked, and take your COVID test again at the airport, and because you'll have your locator paperwork and all that stuff already, and their ID is in the system. You take the second COVID test, you'll have your 24-hour results. When I say it's a process, it's a process. So for me, because my flight was at 8:30 at night, I went that earlier that day, got my COVID test, and then everything else was easy peasy. But even with you checking in, like I said, then after they check your COVID test, if that's fine, whatever, then you got to go in and weigh your luggage and check in your luggage. Now, let me tell you about that. You check in your luggage. and you already waited, but you got to check in your carry-on. You got to check in your carry-on. Now, I could think mine was over by 2 kilos or something. So I was like, okay. And he was like, 2 kilos. Now, I don't think he realized I had people there with me at the airport, right? I had people there with me. So I guess a lot of people are traveling by themselves. So he was giving me this look like, and I said, what? So what do you want to tell? What are you telling me? He said, what are you gonna do? I said, what? He's like, what are you gonna do? It's 2 kilos over. Talking about my carry-on luggage. My travel bags are fine, but my carry-on, he said, 2 kilos over. And I said, well, what? I need to take some stuff out. And I started opening up my bags, trying to figure out what I could take. I said, well, I can give it to my friends. I'll just take stuff out and give it to them. And he was like, and then I was going through it, trying to shuffle it. And finally, he was like, never mind, just go. Because he kept saying, he kept pointing to, what are you gonna do? Pointing to the way, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? So I guess if I was to slip him, I don't know, something, he would have let me pass. I don't know, because the level of that kind of stuff going on is a lot, but I really didn't experience it. I just kind of peeped it. So, and I just know some of the process is just antiquated. Yeah, prepare to take your test twice. I know a lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about Brussels Airlines. Me, myself, I did too. I have to say, after the chaos of dealing with that whole system in the Gambia, Brussels was a refreshing, welcoming energy, a familiar energy that I was accustomed. So I was able to just sit down, decompress, grab me something to eat while I wait for my connecting flight, and just to be able to reflect on everything. I went and got something from Starbucks, chilled and waited until it was time for me to board my flight. It's coming back. I feel the cold. I feel the cold.
Where are you coming from?
Gambia.
Oh, so yeah, no, it's here.
I was just like, I have got like the first layers coming back on. I got like 3 more to come back on. It seems like
It's waiting for you. Did you see your last destination?
Yeah. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm not
it's
feeling
there.
it.
You gotta make it till April.
Yeah. Oh gosh, you said April. Hopefully I'll be out of there by April. So we are on the plane heading to Brussels, y'all. I'm so tired. Between trying to get all my work done and Gambia before I got left. But we haven't left yet. They're having some trouble scanning some of the bags that came from Gambia. Because some of the scan codes are not going through. I'll just leave that to your own devices of the things that I've been telling you how things work over there. No, I don't always follow the rules. I'm not saying that. But these are one of the things that make the system that works so well in our beautiful motherland. So we are really late leaving. We were supposed to leave a while ago, and so they're sitting there struggling, trying to scan bags. I already know probably what that is, but that's for you to kind of think. So while they struggle to try to figure out why some of the bags won't scan, I will take a nap. So I guess they know who they should be fed and who shouldn't. I don't know, because everybody's not getting food and everybody's not getting drinks, so I don't know how this works. It's interesting thing. So I guess I don't eat. I don't know. But it's 7 hours and 14 minutes, we think. And so I don't know how this is going to work with how they do things. So if I'm not going to eat, I'm going to go back to sleep. Because she went right past me. Russell. So I got some food. But it was weird. It's just like she went to certain people first and then she came back to us. I don't know what she was doing. And it looked like she went to all the Europeans first and then came back to us. I'm back. I'm back in the U.S., but only temporary. I woke up and I went online and I started researching tickets. So I'm going to be getting my ticket for my return to the Gambia. I'm ready to go home already. But what I have to do while I'm here is get stuff straight with my job. Get stuff straight with my car. Get stuff straight with IRS, my student loan, all these things. Make sure things are good with my kids. I have a lot I gotta do. What I'll probably do in the interim is try to set up things so that I could travel between the Gambia and the United States and handle all my business and keep it going back and forth. And so this is my journey. And what I'm doing is create enterprise, inshallah, if Allah allows it. But I have to say, I'm on Gambian time, so I woke up like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is around, I think, 8 o'clock Gambian time. So my body hasn't set right. And I gotta go on quarantine. So today I'm gonna try to take my COVID test. Today or tomorrow I'm gonna try to take my COVID test for my job. And I gotta stay at home for 7 days. So that's gonna be interesting. And yeah. Am I happy to be back in the States? No. Do I miss anything about the United States? Yes. The food. I have to say, I'm not a big fan of Gambian food. And the only variety that I'm going to get is what I cook. And I didn't have my own kitchen because I was staying with someone still. So I can't wait till I get my own kitchen. So one of the things when I do go to Gambia is I'm going to look for an Airbnb or an apartment that when I come there, I can make it my home. I'm going to talk to some other sisters that I met. I'm going back to sleep. Thank you for your support. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. 1,200, we're trying to get there, y'all.